Labor claims cover-up as weekly reporting on benefit numbers has been cancelled. RNZ today, Social Development Minister Louise Upston has directed her officials to stop publishing weekly updates on benefit numbers as the number, coincidentally, Chewy, will have nothing to do with it, but coincidentally, as the number of people on welfare reaches record levels. The Labour Party is calling it a cover-up, but Upston said such regular updates were unnecessary and monthly and quarterly data is a better decision-making tool. Speaking of tools, it probably means she only has to answer those questions once a month, the hard questions. Remember, this government was the saviour of everything. That's what they promised. They were going to fix everything. Record numbers of people on benefits, record numbers of unemployed at the moment. A short statement was recently added to the Ministry of Social Development MSD website without fanfare, noting the income support weekly updates will no longer be published following the 25th October release. Asked by RNZ for an explanation, an MSD spokesperson said Upston would provide answers in Parliament on Wednesday afternoon and directed further questions to her office. We'll leave them to answer. Speaking during Parliament's question time, Upston told MPs the weekly data was very volatile and not accompanied by detailed analysis delivered every month and quarter. By the detailed analysis. We want our department's resources to be focused on the analysis that we need to get more people into work, not on unnecessary reporting. We don't have to do that unnecessary reporting how the numbers are bad under us. What we do want to do is focus on how to get those numbers going in the other direction, no matter how chewy. I mean, whether it means we throw people off, whether it means we cut them because they don't fulfill their criteria, whatever it is. So the weekly reporting has stopped and Labor is claiming it's a cover-up. It does seem kind of coincidental, and I do have one other thing from another story to add to this about numbers, but your thoughts firstly, Chewy?
National said that they were going to be the most transparent government ever. I think they're doing that, but not in the way that they want it to be seen. This is very transparent. Yeah. Less reporting, less questions, once a quarter, thanks. Form a line. I might answer you, I might not. We'll find out next quarter. In any sort of dickering with numbers, especially of beneficiaries and unemployment at this point, should be viewed through a lens of extreme distrust. And I don't think Upston really understands that.
Carmel Cipollone asked the minister, this is from the same report, whether she stopped weekly reporting because it showed a steep increase in job seeker numbers. Upston rejected that number. Can anyone in the chat, before I say, can anyone guess what or who she blamed for the number going up? Can anyone guess? Can anyone guess? It's a tricky one. You probably won't get it. Quote,
Kamala.
We are dealing with the circumstances we got from the last government. Now, remember, we had Craig Rennie on, and we kind of trust his people blame Labor, blame Labor. I trust him on his analysis, right? And he said, obviously, with inflation coming down, unemployment numbers are going to go up. But his point was anything over 5% is because of decisions made by this government. He said, yep, it goes up to 4.5. That's true. 5.5 is a choice. They may not actively be saying we want more people unemployed, but based on the choices that this government has made, that has increased unemployment more so than perhaps it would have been. Here's the other thing I want to add in there, Chewy. Remember, this is the government that was going to solve all our problems. Labor bad, all our problems, Labor bad. They don't seem to be doing quite so well with their numbers at the moment. How about this one? The lure of Australia remains strong as Kiwis leave in record numbers. Now, I actually would like to see how this government could blame Labor, who haven't been in for 12 months, right? Blaming Labor as to why people are leaving today. So the people leaving today are looking at the country and the direction it's going under this government, Be fascinating to see how they spin that. These numbers are not looking good for this government. A record number of, what are we listening to? Oh, it's RNZ. A record number of New Zealand citizens left the country in the year to September. So it's basically the whole term of national. And about half of them went to Australia, Stats NZC. It has released new data showing the country had a net migration gain of 44,000, sharply down from a provisional peak of 136,300 recorded in the year to October 2023. Stats NZ said the number of people moving to New Zealand was down and departures had increased. There was a net loss of 54,700 New Zealand citizens, important to remember, New Zealand citizens, in the year, driven by 79,700 departures and 25,000 arrivals. Now, I tried to find it today, Chewy, but I'm pretty sure it was John Key standing in, was it Wellington Stadium, looking around going,
I remember that. Yep.
This many people are leaving New Zealand each year. And I think from memory, it would need to be a bigger stadium. Would need to be a bigger stadium. That stadium wouldn't hold the number of people that are leaving. It would have to be Eden Park, which I think holds more part than anyone else, at an All Blacks test match where they had the temporary seats going right down to the sideline. So National, this was your bag for a long time. And then you did blame Labour at all the people leaving New Zealand. They're now leaving because they do not see a future under you. What's that all about? Chewy?
Currently, Stats NZ's website says quarterly unemployment rate is 4.8%, so rapidly approaching that level that Mr. Rennie has said is a callous choice by this government. I would love to know if Stats dial down into the jobs that those people do, because I would wager to say that we've lost a lot of young tradies and cops,
Nurses, teachers.
Oh, by the way, looking like the nurses union is going on strike.
Ooh.
They haven't officially said it yet, but I'd say by this time next week we'll definitely know. Yeah, like I think whenever you see those stats of people leaving the country, yes, we always have a large percentage of people go on an OE, and I don't think that should ever be discouraged. A lot of people will go away, get upskilled, come back, start a family, that sort of thing. But when it's Australia, I don't think they come back as much.
Yeah.
You know, and those will be people that will go over there, they'll start a family, then they'll decide that it's just they're there to stay now. I've got friends that have done this, that have gone and started a family. Now they're Australian citizens. They're not coming back.
Yeah. Because Australia is basically New Zealand with snakes, and they like that. So,
well, look, we should be the bird place, and they can be the weird, fucked up marsupial poison place. That's fine. That's their lane, and they should stay in it. And but yeah, you're always going to have people leave, but when it comes to this, where people don't see the opportunity, like if you go over there and you've got your education here, maybe you've started your job or your vocation here. You start looking at comparative pay rates in Australia or further afield. New Zealand does not stack up well. And a big chunk of that is lifestyle only goes so far. I know my partner, as an example, would almost double her income in Melbourne. And that's my arguments of, but Australia only goes so far. They've got their problem. It's not the land of milk and honey, but when people are just looking at the numbers and looking at the opportunities they have, and they look at the current state of things in New Zealand, National's not offering them anything either.
I saw a story. I'm just Googling it. I can't find it. Maybe someone in the chat can find it for me. It was something like, it was a smaller town in New Zealand, like Whakatane or Poti or something like that. And there apparently was a target by Australia on that town offering whatever the workers were, like a $93,000 or a $98,000 salary. So they've actually obviously identified that this town in New Zealand has a good number of these skills that we need, and we're going to actually target that town with advertising, trying to drag those people to Australia. I wish I had a bookmark that I can't remember what it was, but it was something
Would
I
be
remember.
a mining town, wouldn't it?
Bud says Whakatane. Maybe it was Whakatane. Yeah, so it was just you just look at it and just go, oh well, they've done their research. They've done their research. But anyway, whatever it was, the point is, oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's Whakatane. Everybody's confirming that. They're looking for cops.
Aussie target Whakatane officers with $86,000 salary. So Whakatane in particular, they're going, we want you guys in Whakatane.